So after last week's episode, which I believe we could call a jumbled mess, Sisters was quite an improvement over that. And the reason why is Lana was in charge of the episode. And any episode that Lana is in charge of is a very solid episode. And the episode is actually very simple. It has two storylines going on in the present and a simple storyline going on in the past that just adds to the present storyline. Uh, the secondary storyline is Charming versus James, and that ends with James getting thrown into the river of lost souls, and that's it. Cruella and James wanted to get out of the underworld, and they were going to kidnap Robin Hood's baby because it's the baby of the Lord of the Dead's lover, and that failed. And then James and David got into a fight, and then, like I said, James was thrown into the river, and that was really the end of it. Emma and Hook did truly nothing in the episode. James slapped on the cuff onto Emma's hand, so her magic was nullified, and that was really the secondary storyline that was going on. In terms of resolution for the two brothers, it was not as interesting as the resolution for Regina and Zelena, which obviously I'll talk about in extensive detail right now. So with the past storyline, Regina, as a little girl, gets into a magical coma thanks to playing with Cora's magic. And the only way to reverse it is to have magic that hasn't harmed her, I guess. It's like a weird little caveat to whatever Cora's spell was. And Cora goes to Oz and gets Zelena. And she actually stopped Zelena's father from abusing her, which I really liked. And she told Zelena that her magic was a gift. She also did lie and say that she's a good witch, because Cora's anything but a good witch. But she did get a happy ending, which I actually found was interesting. I was expecting them to send her to hell, or to the worst place in the underworld. Once Upon a Time hasn't really said heaven or hell yet. They just kind of said there's a good place and a bad place, and then hell's the intermediate. So Zelena rescues Regina from Cora's spell, and then Zelena and Regina as little girls bond, and it's really cute. And then Zelena opens up a box that was sealed by blood magic, and Regina goes, "That's sealed by blood magic. Only blood relatives can open it up. Are we related?" They go and ask Cora, and Cora says, "Yes, you are." But Cora's love is weakness motto comes back, and she separates the two girls and gives them a forgetting potion. And then that was the end of the flashback. But what happens is Zelena and Regina as little girls bond, and they become sisters. Regina kind of feels lonely as a little girl, and she had the opportunity to not be so lonely, and Cora took it away from her. So now what we have going on in the present story, Rebecca Mader, Barbara Hershey, and Lana Priya, totally in charge of it, and I loved it. One thing I just want to quickly note, I didn't realize how much shorter Barbara Hershey was than Rebecca Mader, because when they were standing face to face, when Zelena met Cora, which was the big hype of the episode, here's Becca and here's Barbara, and I was just like, wow, like there's a really big height difference there. So Hades asked Zelena to make chaos with him, and I have to say, I'm really happy that she chose to be hesitant about it. And Regina was watching them, and I guess the thing I was really happy about was Hades wasn't in the episode as much as I thought he was going to be. He was kind of minor, which I really like, because Greg Germain's acting I'm having some issues with, so I'm pretty glad that he was kind of pushed to the side and they focused intensely on Regina and Zelena. So Regina is telling Zelena, don't trust Hades. Like, you can't redeem the Lord of the Underworld. And then, Zelena doesn't listen to Regina, but, they're on, like, rocky territory, but at the same time, it seems like Zelena's going to stay with on Regina's side. And Regina thinks of the only person who can break Zelena's heart, and that'd be Cora. And they try to make Zelena forget about Hades with the potion, but Zelena realizes it's fake. Cora does a apology, which apparently she truly meant. She said that Zelena and Regina was her unfinished business, but Zelena at first doesn't remember. And then Regina and Zelena were about to get into a magical fight. I loved how Zelena's fireball was green and Regina's was red. I really wish they actually kept that gimmick in season 3 when they introduced Zelena, where her fire magic would be green. So after that, Cora says stop. She actually extinguishes their fireballs. She gives them back the memory. It's kind of funny how Cora was able to give back the memory she took from them. And then season 4, in Smash the Mirror, Ingrid gave back memory she stole from Emma and Elsa. Not to compare them, but obviously Ingrid Elsa and Emma were like sisters in a weird way. Well, Regina and Zelena were actual sisters, so now it's something the four of them all have in common. So they get back their memories, and they're pretty much rushed with emotion. Regina is crying, Zelena is overwhelmed, and they accept each other for who they are. The bond is mended. Like I said, it's a lot more satisfying than the charming James fiasco we had going on. So I really, really liked it. And then Zelena and Regina watch Cora move on, and it's a beautiful scene because Regina is told by Cora that she didn't even get to say goodbye, and then she says to Zelena, "We didn't even get to say hello." And I thought it was a beautiful scene. Cora's about to go to accept her fate to be either damned to hell or get to move on to heaven. And Cora did do some pretty horrible things, but I guess because she truly not atoned, but she was forgiven, she regretted, and now she got to move on. Also, by the way that Cora got out of the mill, just to really, really backtrack, was Hook saved her thanks to using his hook and removing the magical cuff from Cora's wrist. So they move on, and Regina and Zelena have mended fences, and Regina says to Zelena, "Go with Hades, go be with Hades, and try to free him." I'm assuming that Regina's hoping that if Zelena can redeem Hades, then he'll remove their names from the slabs and let them go home. So after that, Zelena is about to go on her date with Hades, but she gets stopped by Rumple, who's obviously pissed that Belle is in a sleeping curse thanks to her. And Zelena gets to meet Peter Pan, and then Pan throws a bag over her head. I think it's kind of funny that the Wicked Witch, the villain of 3B, gets to meet Peter Pan, the villain of 3A. What's going to be happening with them? We'll find out next week, I hope. The trailer didn't really give any inkling of that. It seems to be an Emma and Hook-based episode, which I'm really curious to see, because that was the I'm trying to get the best word. That would be the whole gimmick again for 5B, but that really hasn't happened because 5B's been like which soul to save. So more or less, James is gone. Regina and Zelena mended fences. Zelena is now being kidnapped, and now I'm actually concerned about the Wicked Witch. And then also minorly, Cruella, I think she's done. I don't know if Victorious Mermaid's in the next episode, but unless she actually is able to meet up with the heroes again, her relationship with James is gone, and she's probably just going to hang out in the underworld. I feel bad because I really like Victorious Mermaid, so hopefully she'll get some type of ability to move on to some degree. So either way, that's the episode. I thought it was quite solid. I really, really enjoyed it. I liked how the present-day storyline had two parallel stories, or two running storylines, but the sub-story was pretty small, and the major storyline was really great. It got to show off the acting abilities of the actors. The past storyline just worked to enhance the present-day storyline, and I think it's an A episode. I think if anyone had to rate this is definitely one of the stronger ones of 5. It's the Zelena gets to meet Cora episode. It's the sibling episode. And I'm looking forward to next week. We have Captain Swan, but here we got Wicked and Evil, Mend the Fences. So share your thoughts about the episode in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed my reaction, review, recap. I don't really know what else to say about it. There will be the longer review on R&J Reviews tonight, and I'll do a trailer review to discuss the next episode very soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.